The 1980s brought forth startling revelations within the UFO community when inventor and physicist Paul Bennewitz alleged the discovery of an underground extraterrestrial base near Dulce, New Mexico. His claim spread like wildfire. Quickly, assertions that the inhabitants of the underground base at Dulce, a group of reptile-like humanoids, were endeavoring to take control of the Earth and its inhabitants. Their method for gaining autonomy was not through a hostile takeover, but instead covertly. It is believed that they are conspiring with the global elite and secret societies such as the Masons and the Illuminati to create a new world order. Strange as this may sound, since Bennewitz first came forward, other individuals have ascertained that the reptile-like humanoids, the Reptilians, are only one species of advanced sentient life that inhabit our universe. Proponents of this theory insist that hostilities between the different factions go back to our remote past, and they go on to state that an intergalactic war for control and dominance between the Reptilians and these other extraterrestrial groups is imminent. Earth is identified as Ground Zero. Can any of this be true? Do advanced life forms exist? Have they visited the Earth in our past? Are these life forms still here? Astonishingly, our own mythic history does lend credence to many of these claims. When we turn our attention to our legendary past, the stories of our ancestors suggest the existence of at least 4 distinct races of gods who once inhabited the Earth. These gods are depicted as half man, half fish, or half man, half snake, as giants and as monsters. The final group, the sky gods, are traditionally represented with white skin, sporting white beards, and wearing flowing robes. Where the gods of legend came from is a bit of a mystery. Myth only provides one direct reference to a point of origin. This comes from the Dogon people of West Africa. Their creation story states that an ark containing 8 amphibious, hermaphroditic, fish-like creatures, the Nomo, came to the Earth in our remote past. While this is the only direct link to a star system, references to specific constellations permeate mythology, including the Pleiades, Orion, and the Big Dipper. Stories that emerge from deep antiquity indicate that the Earth was originally conquered by a group of half-man, half-snake, or fish fertility gods who established their base in the watery deep. If anyone owned or controlled the Earth prior to the reign of the fertility gods, it is unknown. Their rule over the Earth is described as a golden age. Within the narrative, it is unclear who, if anyone else, lived on the Earth, but it is evident that an ongoing relationship between the different extraterrestrial races already existed. Ancient tenets also indicate that their relationship with one another was tenuous at best. The tension between the factions is best illustrated in the story of the churning of the Milky Ocean. In this Hindu classic tale, Indian tradition suggests that the early inhabitants of the Earth, the different races of gods, banded together into 2 separate alliances. They were the Devas and the Asuras. The word Deva originally meant celestial or shining one. They are described as the good gods. The Asuras, on the other hand, are portrayed as being evil, power-seeking, sinful, and materialistic. The Devas are depicted in artwork as having humanoid form, while the Asuras are represented in the form of snakes, demons, and monsters. As the story goes, the Devas lost their precious Amrita, the nectar of immortality, in the watery depths of the planet. They realized they were not strong enough to retrieve it by themselves. A truce was called between the Devas and the Asuras with the promise that the Devas would share the Amrita with the Asuras. The 2 groups reluctantly joined forces with one goal in mind: to recover the Amrita. The gods churned the ocean for thousands of years until finally their prize Amrita appeared. The Asuras rushed in to seize the Amrita from the heavenly Devas. The Devas appealed to their supreme god Vishnu, who transformed himself into a beautiful nymph. Her beauty took the Asuras by surprise. This clever diversion distracted the Asuras from their attempt to appropriate the Amrita and granted the Devas the time they needed to steal the Amrita-filled cup. War broke out between the Devas and the Asura. The Asuras realized they could not compete with the deadly weapons of the Devas along with their newfound Amrita-inspired strength. The Asuras retreated. In an effort to escape, they entered the bowels of the earth, while others plunged into the saltwater seas. Chronicles of a great war fought amongst the gods is a consistent theme in cultures around the world. In these narratives, the winners, the sky gods, take control of the earth, and the losers, the half-man, half-snake, or fish fertility gods, are sent, cast, or flee to the underworld. This ends the reign of the fertility gods. It is many years after this battle for planet Earth, according to mythological sources, that mankind is created. This is where we reach the critical question. Why did a group of extraterrestrials come to the Earth in the first place? Why did they create us? And what do they want from us? Unfortunately, mythology tends to be very quiet on the why side of things. These sources do not reveal their master plan, their divine agenda, or the method to their madness, especially when we try to identify why they came to Earth. When it comes to the creation of mankind, we do have some insights, even if they're vague. There are a number of individuals who claim that mankind was created as a slave race to do the bidding of the gods. But were we really their slaves? Mythology suggests that a genetically engineered terrestrial race, the Giants or Earthborn, worked for many years on the massive building projects of the gods. They believed over time that they were above the tasks assigned to them. We are, after all, the sons and daughters of the gods. War broke out between the Giants and the gods. The gods won the rebellion. It was decided once the hostilities concluded that the gods would create a new race of workers to perform the labors of the Giants, mankind. From Sumerian sources, there are indications that early man may have lived and worked as early miners excavating precious metals and stones from beneath the Earth's surface, or worked as farmers tending fields. Regrettably, the same texts do not provide the name of the group or race associated with these activities, making a definitive identification impossible. The passage could just as easily be describing work that was imposed upon the Giants. It does seem more likely, based on humanity's relationship with the gods, that we were created not as a slave race, but instead as a domesticated species. The gods, instead of treating us insensitively and harshly, cared for us in much the same way we love and care for our pets. If we were slaves to the gods, it is evident that we have not performed any heavy labor on their behalf for millennia. If we had, stories of our indentured servitude would appear in our late mythic history and would be documented on clay tablets, bits of papyrus, wood, or animal skin. To date, no known record of these activities exists. Declarations of the reptilians' true agenda are wide and varied. Some claim we were not created as a slave race, but instead as a food source for the reptilians. Instead of eating us like a roast chicken or a piece of prime rib, they feed off our energy. As human beings, we each vibrate depending on our mood at a specific frequency. When we feel connected, inspired, or enthusiastic, we emanate a high energy frequency. When we are sad, afraid, stressed, depressed, anxious, angry, or frustrated, the vibration we emit is low. It is believed that it is these low energy vibrations that the reptilians consume. It is similar to the energy human life provided the machines in the movie The Matrix. This claim, however, brings up one unexplainable point. Why bother giving humanity intelligence? Why teach them how to control fire and track the stars? On the flip side, it was also the gods who provided humanity with the rules to live by, which evolved into moral codes, laws, and religion. These regulations have ultimately turned us into an increasingly passive species. The gods also taught us how to plant crops and build monumental structures. These changes to our culture set us on a course of living and thriving in metropolitan cities. It spurred population growth and the tensions associated with large groups of people living in a confined environment. Was it the reptilians' goal to corral us into self-made pens so that they could more readily feed upon us? Others argue the reptilians' true agenda is to control us with the objective to dominate the planet. They cite the development of a new world order where they, the reptilians, will once again take control of the Earth's surface. The reptilians are also accused of wanting to reduce the population on the Earth and are employing weapons such as chemtrails, GMOs, vaccinations, and man-made viruses to reduce our numbers. It is contended that it is easier to control 500,000 or 1 million individuals than it is the 7 billion who currently live here. But why all of the cloak and dagger operations? If the reptilians have been on Earth for hundreds of thousands of years, why give us any control in the first place? With their advanced technology, they could have maintained their role as gods and no one would be the wiser. If, as it has been suggested, their plan is to reduce the number of people on the Earth, wouldn't that interfere with their ability to sustain themselves? If we follow the proponents of the negative reptilian agenda line of thinking, it is universally believed that the reptilians want to control the Earth. Conversely, those that support the beneficial character of the reptilians argue that the reptilians were the original owners of the Earth. All they want is to have it back. Mythologically speaking, it is true. The reptilians were here first. They lost their ownership when they were defeated in the war with the sky gods. According to channeled materials, many of the extraterrestrial races in our galaxy do not want the reptilians to reestablish their control over the Earth. They maintain that the world will be saved from reptilian domination by members of the Galactic Federation. The Galactic Federation is a group comprised of over 3,000 star nations. Locally, we fall under the Milky Galaxy Galactic Federation, which is described as being the oldest in the universe. It was founded after the First Great Galactic War that was fought in the Lyra constellation between humans, reptilians, felines, and the Carians. This group, according to some of their spokespersons on Earth, has a non-intervention policy, much like the Prime Directive on Star Trek. While they cannot work in front of the camera, we are told they often intervene on humanity's behalf from behind the scenes. Although perceived as kind and benevolent, what is their real agenda? They say history is written by the victor. According to mythology, the sky gods won the war against the half-man, half-snake, or fish fertility gods, casting them into the depths of the earth. It would only make sense that the losers would be demonized at the outcome of the battle. But throughout mythology, the behavior of the sky god is depicted as being anything but kind and loving. Even in the story of the churning of the Milky Ocean we explored earlier, texts clearly state that the Devas, the good gods, were never planning on sharing their precious Amrita with the evil Asuras. Conversely, it is the fertility gods that are consistently identified as having created, taught, and nurtured humanity. Taken as a whole, the half-truths allegedly being provided by these two intergalactic groups, the Reptilians and the Galactic Federation, remind me of the tale of Hansel and Gretel. We are presented with a story that attracts us with its glitter and shine and hope for a better tomorrow. We start listening to the information provided without thinking about who it belongs to or what price we might pay in the end for our ignorance. By accepting this information as truth, we may be opening the oven door and pushing ourselves in, soon to become yard art for some wicked old witch or dinner for an alien space being from another dimension. Torrents of theories have come forward as we seek the truth regarding our place in the universe. Mythology does lend itself to support some of these claims. Were an advanced group of extraterrestrials here in our remote past? Mythology says yes. Did a war between the half-man, half-snake, or fish fertility gods and the sky gods for control of the planet Earth take place? Again, ancient sources assert yes. The implications of an alien agenda in today's society, on the other hand, is more difficult to confirm. Are a group of reptilians feeding off of us, trying to annihilate us or planning for an intergalactic war with the Galactic Federation? Evidence that has been brought forth is compelling, especially if you watch the news or listen to the radio. Yet many of their allegations conflict. This makes a definitive conclusion impossible. For many of us, like our belief in advanced life in the cosmos, we will not accept it as truth until an alien craft lands on the White House lawn.